Who's ready for the whammy? It's the weekly whammy.
Oh my gosh. Whammy.
Somebody said last time they loved that you put all the baseball sounds into them. Every time I said whammy.
Hey, yeah, I tried to, I didn't try to kill the dead horse, but I tried to make it a little comedic the last video, but.
It's the weekly whammy because Facebook didn't like the shock drop. That sounded too offensive. It's the weekly whammy.
I like the whammy, man. I mean.
Our office ladies came up with it. They said the weekly whammy sounds funnier.
Yeah, I mean, and we got some crazy weekly whammies with the Free Willy right here.
Oh, yeah. Frilly Willy.
Oh, Frilly Willy, not Free Willy.
He's jumping over. It's the little teardrop. That was that was out when I was a kid. I remember the orca. He saves the orca, and it jumps over the kid. And like if you go to the Pacific Northwest, like that'd be really close to that barge, man. That'd be some deep water on the other side of that.
Yeah, I've only seen the posters, and I was like, yeah.
I was peak Free Willy. That was a 90s classic.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like that Fonzie jumping the shark, but instead the whale jumps you, so.
Jump the whale. All right, guys, we got the Frilly Willy, not the Free Willy, but the Frilly Willy. This one's going to be on sale. Pretty cool plant. This one has a little bit more ruffled of a leaf. It's got a heavy Matsumarin leaf. It would almost qualify you for being one of those upright lace leaf looks, but it's not. So there's a thin line between a Matsumuri and a lace leaf, and this one's more in that Matsumuri style. Really cool plant, though. Very heat tolerant. Typically around 10 foot in 15 years.
Yeah, I like how this one, whenever I was looking at the pictures, I was like, I had to double check. I was like, it kind of has that layering effect that maybe the cecilifoliums kind of have, like it is a very divided leaf, but they're very tight on, that center. And it really just has such a nice texture going on. This one is just very, very interesting. I love the lobes that it has and how divided they are.
Frilly Willy.
Frilly Willy.
Don't free the Willy. Frilly Willy. All right, guys. Next up, we got a Murayama.
Yeah, a Murayama, an awesome tree. It's going to be a green maple, pushing into some really awesome fall colors, though. Yeah,
great one. This is semi-pendulous. This is the kind of the poster tree for the semi-pendulous. It's upright, but it weeps downward. A Murayama, really cool. If you've ever seen a mature one, there was a mature one. We bought Highland Creek Nursery a few years ago. It was a really mature one we didn't dig. Still there on the grounds at Brian Upchurch's. I absolutely love it when you see a big one. They're upright, and then they have all these branches that kind of weep down. Almost looks like a weeping cherry type shape. Yeah. So you get those branches that kind of dangle, and it makes the perfect Japanese maple shape.
The semi-pendulous is definitely one that like that habit is like, okay, let's wait and see kind of what we got going on. It's like I just love how kind of outwards it reaches, and you get really nice shapes.
When you see a mature one, there's also a really mature one at Carl Munn's house. Oh my gosh, they're just phenomenal plants. All right, another great deal going on, Falls Fire.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that it's going to give you some amazing fall colors, as the name kind of suggests, giving you some awesome fire engine reds, and it's going to be 8 feet in height in about 15 years, so pretty decent sized growing tree in that middle kind of range.
Another one that's kind of semi-pendulous, so maybe not as semi-pendulous as a Murayama, but you get an upright shape with some branches aimed down. Here's a rare one you don't see much we're bringing out today, Hoofdman A. Now this is a reticulated form. Very rare one from Europe. Now you get a lot of creams and pink going on in this one. Very beautiful tree. Upright. I love how soft greening the veining is. Like you just get this real interesting. I've got one in a heavy oak canopy, and I just go out there and look at it all the time. It's got a weird look to it, but it's unique. It definitely adds a lot to that reticulated format.
Yeah, this is one, I love pink, whites, and greens on a maple tree, and this one kind of gives you all that going on at once. You kind of get some of the lighter colors mixing with that pink and a nice green over top.
How about we bring back Elizabeth? That's a fan favorite for witches' brooms. Just a cool plant. Dense lavendery colors. I've had lavender with like a yellowish eye even in the spring. It's definitely a more unique shade. 3 to 4 foot. Real dense, compact, short and center node. Pairs great with a lot of the other dwarfs. I love pairing this with something like Little Joe we've had recently on the 1010s. But Shayna, this is going to offset a lot of the other brooms and look really nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is one, it sets itself apart inside of the greenhouse, which is like, that's a good metric for me to kind of like, find out what I'm enjoying. It's like, you're walking through. Elizabeth is just kind of sitting right over there, pulling your attention, and it's an awesome tree.
Absolutely love it. Let's drop some ginkgos. We got Ginkgo biloba pendula. Now, this is a cool one. It's kind of horizontula if you really want to know it. This one's been around in Belgium since the 1800s, and I saw the biggest dang one of these you've ever seen in Belgium, dude. I was at the Brussels Botanical Garden in Belgium, and there was one of these that was high grafted about 10 feet up on already a 10-foot. I mean, so the base, is like 8-foot caliper, and then they grafted that about 10 feet up. And they had made just this crazy tabletop. Now, I do think putting ginkgos on standards can increase the size of the ginkgo. So typically you wouldn't get one this big. But, I mean, they'd put it on a massive tree already. And they created this crazy just tabletop. What a cool way to grow it, too, though. But, I mean, it was probably 10, 15 feet wide.
Yeah, I love, we did that video a while back about the ginkgo kind of gate or the ginkgo wall. And it's really interesting. One thing I do love, I was walking around Asheville the other week, saw some ginkgo trees, and, they had some fruits on them. And I'd never smelled these fruits before.
They can be quite right.
I had heard, Matt and Tim talk about them. So, I picked one, I squished it up, and, I couldn't get the smell off my fingers for a couple hours.
Yeah, these are distinctly male, so you won't get the fruits on Ginkgo biloba pendula. Even that old one there in Belgium isn't fruiting, so it's distinctly a male. Sun tolerant, heat tolerant. They're going to work zones 3 through 9, so they go into a ton of areas. Very salt resistant, so you can put these in kind of areas you can't put a lot of other plants. Really great plants. So you get that classic golden yellow fall color. Now this one can typically be, 6-7 foot tall. I like to stake it up at first, but it's going to have more of an umbrella-like shape to it.
Yeah, and moving into something a little bit of a different pace, guys. We're going into the male lion, Ojishi.
Oh, a lot of people have been waiting on this one. Now, a lot of people have, Shishigashira. They have the female lion. They need the male lion from the mythological 1700s list. Ojishi's got a little bit more flatter middle part to the leaf. They're very similar. Now, the Ojishi is much slower growing than the Shishigashira.
Yeah, I mean, I love looking at the Shishigashira, and then looking at Ojishi kind of right next to it. Both of them having such a distinct growth habit. Shishigashira shooting off more of those cathedral kind of, big long shoots of growth, vigorous growth that's going up. Ojishi, I mean, anytime I think of Ojishi, I'm pulled right back to Talon Buckholtz, Buckholtz Nursery. An amazing Ojishi there that
Corbin collected some seed on. He's going to name one of them the Wildcat.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But I love the small leaf on these, and we got some pretty nice looking Welsh pots and some 1 gallons going on.
So I'm looking at this one here. I did miss Jetalo Orange, the lace leaf. That is one of my favorite lace leaves, guys. Jetalo Orange is one we're dropping back in a day. These are in 2 gallons. You don't see 2 gallons of that a lot because they sell out here quickly. Jello Orange has a purplish border, yellowish eye, goes to one of the best fall color oranges of any lace leaf you've ever seen. Typically 4 to 5 feet tall, 4 to 5 foot wide. We have a whole breakdown in Dr. Criticos's gardens where we go look at a really mature Jello Orange. One of my all-time favorite lace leaves. I think it probably should be it probably should be one of the top 5 most popular lace leaf. I always say about this one and Edgewood. Both those are so next level to me. I love Jello Orange though. It's got the eye to it in the spring. It's got the orangest color. It really has the fall color a lot of people pretend that Orange Yellow has. Orange Yellow is beautiful in the fall, but Jello Orange is more of your true orange. You know what I mean? It's more of the orange color.
Right, instead of kind of maybe like that bronzy kind of color.
Well, Orangeola tends to be more of a red orange, where Jello Orange tends to be more like Clemson, Tennessee orange. What do you think of as orange, like jumpsuit orange, right?
Yeah, and I mean, if you talk about some orange plants in the garden during the fall time, that orange is going to grab your attention, and Yellow Orange, an awesome introduction, and some pretty nice sizes.
Guys, we're going to bring back a citrus Berberis Sunjoy. Cool looking plant, small, compact, 3 feet. We're going to go through some of these other ones. We've got a lot of cool non-maples dropping today. Nyssa sylvatica Zydeco Twist. Now, this is one of my favorite non-maples coming out today. It's just a cool plant. This was named by Todd Lazane. We have a whole podcast with Todd Lazane. Cajun guy, had to give us a Cajun introduction. He actually named the tree, and Don Shadow was involved with that on him. And so pretty cool. It's a native Tupelo, so it's got that going on for it. 10 to 15 foot. But what really makes this one so interesting, one, the fall color, because Tupelos have crazy color. It's like orangey, fiery red. Like I've had oranges and reds at the same time. But it has that interesting twist to it. It's a contorted plant. So you truly get, like you can hear the Zydeco music a little bit when you look at this. And I love the twist to it. Got a cool name to it. And just next level plant. Level plant.
Anything contorted, it kind of pulls my attention. I mean, you're following that branch, and it's just taking you all over the place, and such a cool introduction.
All right, guys, we've got Looking Glass Falls. These are going to be popping out today. That one, that one, we named it for a local waterfall, kind of keeping with that Japanese tradition of naming trees after local waterfalls. You'll see that Ryuzu Falls, a lot of things in Japan. Looking Glass Falls has a purple border to it, so it gets a cool purple border to it in the spring. Heavily pendulous like Ryusen.
Yeah, this one, the purple border wins me over. I love seeing that during the springtime. I'm a fan of that Murasaki Kiyohime. Anything with that kind of border on it kind of pulls my attention. And to get that in a weeping habit, on a nice size leaf is just something that's pretty magical.
All right, guys, we got some 2 gallons of Shana. They're really nice. We have XLs. And 2 gallons dropping a day. You guys know Shana, classic introduction by Red Maple Nurseries, named for Billy Schwartz's daughter. Really cool plant. Hebrew for beautiful, just great all around plant. And a lot of people down south, like this was one of Dr. Creech's all time favorites. He's got a lot of these planted at Stephen F. Austin on the ground. He calls it the perfect red dwarf. I mean, he's got these all over Nacogdoches, really, but a ton of them at Stephen F. Austin. In that arboretum there, and we went and videoed that. Go check out some of those videos. Ton of Shana's planted there in the ground for that spring interest and their heat tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, whenever I'm going to even some big box stores or something like that, it's a plant with some high demand on it. It's something that pulls your attention all the time. I mean, I love the shortened center nodes on that, and I mean, it provides such a nice shape out there in the garden.
Here's one a lot of people have been waiting for, and it's probably going to sell it pretty quick. There's not a ton of them, but the weekly whammies give us some sets to drop. We're bringing back Sir Damon. Now, that's a really nice pink red to almost orange pink red coral bark. So you get some of the best bright bark interest on this one.
Yeah, I mean, talk about some coral barks. Sir Damon and Sangyukaku, some of the first trees I learned that were coral barks, and moving into just seeing the difference in the color between both of them is something that's really awesome, especially this one, getting those pinks that you kind of get on that you're talking about.
One of the brightest. I mean, it almost just glows in those winter months because of that. Don't wait on that one. They're going to be gone quick.
Yeah, and then moving into gold coin, guys, an awesome Acer Longipes. This is one, I love watching that leaf kind of evolve. You see almost start out like a truncatum leaf and then pushes into that kind of really large, nice yellow leaf. Awesome tree.
Oh, really cool big leaf. A lot of people have this one Acer amplum now. It was originally Acer longipes. Like it switches species. And we joke about that with this one a lot because it's went through some different nomenclature terms over the years. I think most of our customers look at this one as like a golden pictum, because it kind of fits with Usugumo and a lot of those others. It's big leafed. It's almost like, for lack of a better term, metallic-y gold. Like you get just this next level brightness on it. If you give it early morning sun, late day shade, you can really pick up the colors on this one. Just one of those trees that just absolutely glows in the landscape.
Yeah, man. And we're going to be moving right into Kashima.
Yeah, you'll see this one synonymous with Chiba. So you'll see Kashima and Chiba a lot of times. Same plant. Both really popular for bonsai, same tree. Really good plant, small, round, dense, typically 4 feet tall, 5 foot wide, dense, compact habit to it.
Yeah, man. And then moving into some awesome native azaleas, guys. We got a flame azalea, Jake's Red.
Jake knew what he was doing, man. This thing's got great color. 3 to 4 foot, and this one in 10 years. And I love some native azaleas. Like we're actually even thinking about trying to open a tissue culture lab to do some development on some of the native azaleas. There's some great ones out there though. Jake's Red, there's so many great cultivars, but they're hard to root. So it's a tricky plant to produce. And it takes a whole tissue culture lab to get really good at producing these, but I love it. Jake's red, one of the best reds you'll find. Okay. All right, man, let's jump over here to one of my favorite ginkgos. This one, it's got a little extra something going on. I think this one will sell out. We haven't had it in a while. Jagged Jade.
Yeah, this one, talk about ginkgos and, some awesome habits. This one is a witch's broom from Jade Butterfly, or a sport off of Jade Butterfly.
It's a weird characteristic. It's almost like it's thicker leaf and it's more jagged. It just feels like, ginkgos already feel like something a dinosaur may munch on. This one just looks a little more prehistoric to me. It's got the extra something going on to it. It's got a little bit more jaggedness. It's got a little bit more prehistoric look to it. And it's a little thicker leaf too, which makes me wonder if it has any more tetraploids or anything like that going on. Maybe there's some extra characteristics going on there. Super interesting plant though. And I like the thickness of leaf. It also makes it have a very rich fall color because that leaf's so big.
Yeah, I mean, I love kind of that ruffled edge on the leaf, that you get, and an interesting growth habit as well. This thing is funky looking, and it's a pretty dope tree.
All right, let's bring back Acer Circinatum Sunglow. It's a Pacific Northwest native vine maple with some of the craziest colors. This is a Buchholz introduction. Guys, it glows. I mean, we were walking through the Oregon Gardens that time, that display garden, and I mean, Sunglow is just stealing the show.
Yeah, this is one, I love the kind of those, it kind of gets like a yellowish kind of pinky.
It almost gets
blush
reticulated too. Like it almost gets like a veining to it.
Yeah, this is one that I know Circinatums can be a little bit harder for us to grow over here, but I'm definitely jealous because...
Dude, I had one of these in the full sun in the field for like 10 years somehow. You would think so, but this one seems to kind of break that rule.
That is true. I know exactly what plant you're talking about too, and that sucker is pretty dope. So... this is an awesome tree. Kind of, I don't know if it's a widely known kind of Talon Buchholz introduction, but it's pretty dope.
Underrated yellow.
Definitely.
It doesn't really always factor in for those spring yellows, but that's a good one. All right, guys, Alpine Sunrise coming back. This is another compact dwarf witch's broom. TJ McCaffrey named this one, and just a cool one. I mean, this one's typically 4 to 5 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide, more of a dense round ball in 10 years. Some cool colors, though. I mean, you get a brighter picked up red to this one, and it's also kind of often contrasted. Like you often have some yellowish lighter undertones to this one.
Yeah, I like the leaf shape on this one. This is one that kind of, the subtleties of this plant kind of pull me in. It's a nice red color, and it's very interesting for sure.
So, guys, I hope you like these weekly whammies. These plants are coming up soon. This is dropping today on MrMaple. Some rare, cool stuff. Little outside the box drops. They're not quite the size of the 10 at 10s, and they're a little bit more than the 101 sale. So you get a few more plants in there than that. It's kind of a combination of those two concepts. Just something fun on Fridays. Coming to an end soon. I mean, I don't think these are going to go much longer, but take advantage of it today. A lot of cool plants coming back in small to medium numbers.
That's a whammy.
Whammy.
Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. Remember to take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.